5 on your side at 10 starts now.
Most of our region is now under a moderate drought. We need some rain, and it's back in the forecast. I got that coming up.
A slumping season for the Cardinals, leading to slumping sales around Busch.
I think St. Louis wants them to hear what they're saying. Fix the team.
The impacts of bad baseball off the field. Our top story, another delay in the Delta 8 debate. Tonight, what's next for the intoxicating products in St. Louis County? Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson. Mike Busch has the night off. Just hours ago, the St. Louis County Council heard the last round of testimony over a controversial bill. It calls to regulate the sale of hemp-infused products, which can be packaged to look like popular drinks, snacks, and candies. 5 News High's Laura Barczewski just got back from Clayton with where the measure stands now, Laura.
Kelly, the bill's sponsor, Councilwoman Lisa Clancy, decided to hold the bill for the general meeting tonight, so they did not vote on it. They have a lot of information to go through. The council has now heard more than 4 hours of testimony and public comment on this measure. St. Louis County Council Bill number 15 would require all intoxicating cannabinoid products like Delta 8 to be sold by licensed marijuana dispensaries, taking them out of convenience stores and hemp-specific stores. Representatives from the marijuana industry are largely in favor of the bill as it is.
I don't care how you cut it, slice it, or dice it. You got teenage kids going in these stores and they're buying these items. And here's like 5 things that are irrefutable. These items, they're intoxicants. I don't care the hemp content of it. It's an intoxicant, and there's no mandatory testing.
Some who testified, including a police officer at the special meeting, say they believe a lack of regulation is a public safety issue.
The issue we're having is you can't tell the difference between what's marijuana and hemp. It looks the same exact, smells the same. So my concern is people trying to sell it as Delta 8 or Delta 9, and it's actually marijuana.
Business owners and their representatives who sell hemp-derived products say they already self-regulate and test their products. They don't want anyone under 21 in their stores, and they want to see statewide regulation.
I sit there and test for compliance at harvest. I test my flour for a full panel, then I test my extract once it's made for a full panel, then I test my product for potency and terpenes, things that a lot of times the dispensaries don't even do.
Those in the hemp industry even brought suggestions for regulation for the council to consider while they wait for the Missouri legislature. Craig Katz with CBD Kratom helped work on legislation last session that ran out of time.
It calls for regulation for age gating. It calls for appropriate labeling. It calls for testing. And it calls for packaging requirements. And that is the tenets on which we believe the industry should exist.
It's really unclear outside of the bill sponsor where the other members of the council stand on the issue. They all agree on some things, like keeping it out of the hands of children. They could vote on the issue at the next meeting. They could also make some amendments as well. And I'll be sure to follow it and bring you more updates.
Also tonight, the County Council voted down a resolution to recognize slain conservative activist Charlie Kirk. He was shot and killed while speaking at Utah Valley University last week. Councilman Mark Harder, a Republican, requested the resolution. Several people spoke out tonight. Those against it called Kirk's views divisive.
Honoring those who openly disparage civil rights protections, it sends the wrong message to our children and neighbors about the kind of leadership worth emulating.
I realize Charlie Kirk is no stranger to controversy, and that's precisely why his history or his story resonates so deeply with so many. He has said things, many out of context, to get people to think and to challenge the status quo.
The non-binding resolution failed 5-2, with Republican Dennis Hancock joining the 4 Democrats in voting no. The man accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk appeared before a judge today. Tyler Robinson faces several charges, including aggravated murder. Investigators shared new details of evidence, including a handwritten note and text messages they say show Robinson admitting he carried out the deadly attack. Prosecutors say they plan to seek the death penalty. New tonight, an off-duty St. Louis Metro police officer died in a car crash today. Officer Malik Baker was an officer for nearly 4 years. He died while on his way to work on I-55 in Illinois. St. Louis police say Illinois State Police is handling the investigation. We are working to get more info about what happened. Now to the weather impact forecast. Another hot and dry September night in St. Louis. Meteorologist Lance Blocker says we will have to wait another Long 48 hours for both some rain and relief from the heat.
Yeah, but we're thankful to have that rain back into the forecast. It's been a dry month, of course. The last widespread rain occurred back on August the 17th. So rain chances going up this weekend will be certainly a welcome change. Temperatures today, they topped out in the low 90s across the region. That's 11 degrees above average for us. Average high this time of year is 81 degrees. Current temperatures are in the 60s and 70s for us, 76 over at Scott Air Force Base. Chesterfield 66 degrees, St. Charles 70. The dew point overnight, or the dew point, current dew point right now is in the 50s and 60s. And when it's mostly clear overnight, temperatures will try to fall all the way down to the dew point. So we're expecting temperatures to be in the mid 60s as you head out the door tomorrow. Will be about 86 degrees during the afternoon hours. By noon, sunny skies throughout the day. Tomorrow's highs will top out in the low 90s. We also have another air quality alert. This is an orange air quality alert from Franklin to St. Clair counties, including everybody in downtown. Just means the ozone at the surface is a little bit higher than normal. So folks who are sensitive to that should take proper precautions there. Otherwise, again, we got rain back in the forecast. I got that coming up.
Here's a live look at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals are playing in their last homestand of the season, and they just pulled off a win against the Cincinnati Reds. Fans have not had too many of those to celebrate this season, and that's led to dismal attendance. Brent Solomon is live outside Busch with how that's having an impact on downtown businesses. Brent?
Yeah, it really is, Kelly. You know, when the Cards do well, the local economy does well. The fact of the matter is the team has actually lost more games than they've won this season, and that's creating a lot of concerns here. Check it out. How do you have high hopes?
Please come back.
When sales are going down the slope? For 27 years now,
Hustling on the corner.
Karen Beaushirt has been outside Busch serving up hot dogs for Cardinals fans. But this year, she's had to cut back, going from 2 stands to 1.
I gave up the corner across from 8th and Spruce, across from Sam Musial, because it just was getting bad. Usually in the summertime, you can definitely tell like all the teams from out of town and plus our fans. This year, it's been more out-of-town people than anything.
Just last month, the Cards experienced the lowest attendance for a single game than they've seen since 2006. It was the first time the Redbirds drew less than 20,000 people for a non-COVID restricted game since 1997.
I think St. Louis wants them to hear what they're saying. Fix the team. Get a product on the field or I'm not coming. And I hear that from customers that have season tickets that won't come back. They won't come anymore until they make changes. The talk of the town is Yachty's coming back. And then hopefully they get a different coach. That's what my customers are saying.
Whatever the fix, Beaushirt is optimistic. You've got to be. When you've been doing it this long, you learn to withstand the blows so you can one day win again.
I want to hold my permit because the Cardinals will play better again. I think once Mozeliak's gone next year.
All right, she's also had to reduce manpower, going from a team of 10 to a team of 3. Necessary changes, she says, to stay in business. Live downtown tonight, Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
Tonight, President Trump is doubling down on his comments about sending the National Guard to St. Louis.
Where would you go next? He said St. Louis is in big trouble.
The president is referencing advice he got from the Union Pacific CEO, who runs one of the largest railroad companies in the world. This is just hours after he said in a news conference yesterday that, quote, we have to save St. Louis. The St. Louis Police Department says it hasn't heard anything about the National Guard coming to the city.
There have been very brief conversations with the governor's office, but that is limited to, hey, have you heard anything?
The governor's office says there are no plans in place to have federal troops here, when Governor Mike Kehoe continues to keep his options open to keep Missourians safe. Mayor Kara Spencer referred to a Friday statement where she says crime is too high, but there is a positive trend in the past few years. Downtown is very hard to love these days. That is what the owner of Buddy's Wine Bar and Bistro on Washington Avenue posted on Facebook after his business was hit twice in a week. Both crimes were caught on surveillance video. On Sunday, a vandal broke the front windows of the bar. Last week, a thief was seen stealing $1,500 worth of steaks along with cases of beer and produce. Tonight, a Mascoutah man faces charges in connection to a deadly hit-and-run crash in Belleville. Emily Johnson was hit and killed on Greenmount Road last month. She was on her way to babysit her nieces. Prosecutors charged Robert Weddick for failure to report the deadly crash. Court documents show he was released from jail. Tonight, Boeing is not budging after their striking workers offered their version of a contract. Machinists will vote on the contract on Friday. It includes higher wages and a ratification bonus. If the contract is approved, they will send it over to Boeing. In a statement, the company is calling the offer a publicity stunt and a waste of time. It goes on to say it includes terms, quote, "We have expressly told them we won't accept." The union responded saying, quote, "Boeing has consistently said they need assurances on what our members will accept, and that's exactly what our pre-ratification strike settlement vote will help determine." Tonight, the St. Louis City Justice Center has a new commissioner. It was day one of Nate Hayward's tenure as the new boss. He spent the day meeting detainees and staff members. The Justice Center has dealt with years of riots, inmate deaths, and a revolving door of leaders. Hayward says he wants to improve security and update policies like use of force.
I accept the challenge, and I'm ready to make it better than what it is. So we don't want to say change. We want to say to improve and an upgrade.
Hayward comes in with more than 30 years of experience at St. Louis County Jail. He will work with the previous interim commissioner, Doug Burris, who will provide guidance. Funeral plans are now in place for former Illinois Governor Jim Edgar. He died Sunday at the age of 79 following a battle with pancreatic cancer. Edgar will lie in state at the Illinois State Capitol on Friday. Visitors can pay their respects from 3:30 until 7. A memorial service will be held Saturday at 11 a.m. at Central Baptist Church in Springfield.
Dangerous doses of a weight loss wonder.
The unfortunate thing is we're going to likely see more of these cases.
Tonight, the skyrocketing calls to poison control over these diet drugs.
High pressure has been hot and dry conditions, but a pattern change brings rain back to the region. I've got your forecast next.
They're marketed as game changers for weight loss. Tonight, our partners at 11 Alive in Atlanta investigate what happens when patients get their doses wrong. Calls to poison centers have nearly doubled in just a year. Experts tell consumer investigative reporter Liza Lucas the trend is not likely to stop anytime soon.
Thank you for calling the Georgia Poison Center. My name is Lloyd. How can I help you?
What started as a diabetes treatment has exploded into a weight loss trend. But as more people turn to GLP-1 drugs to get their weight down, Georgia Poison Center is seeing their numbers go up.
It has caused our call volume to skyrocket.
GLP-1s, or glucagon-like peptide-1, are hormones that help regulate blood sugar, appetite, and more. There are synthetic versions of the drug which are FDA approved for treating diabetes, with some for weight loss. Gaylord Lopez is executive director of the center, which is seeing a spike in calls tied to GLP-1s. 129 calls in 2023, nearly doubled last year. This year, already surpassing that. Lopez says trouble often starts with the first dose.
When you're getting single-dose vials of 2 or 3 mLs, we've had a couple of patients inject the entire contents of a vial.
The increase not just in Georgia. Data 11 Alive obtained from the National Poison Data Center, America's Poison Centers, shows nearly 12,000 calls linked to GLP-1s in the last year. Experts say mistakes include taking doses too closely together or taking a higher dose than prescribed. And prior shortages mean some patients turn to online sources or compounding pharmacies to find the medication. Unlike brand name pre-filled pens, Lopez warns some then end up with vials of medication and syringes, leading to errors.
So these are people who maybe didn't get the proper education, who didn't get the right information from the internet health provider, or they were just confused.
The result? Nausea, vomiting, or abdominal pain. Some patients experiencing a change in heart rate or blood sugar. More than 40% of calls end with patients sent to the ER.
The unfortunate thing is we're going to likely see more of these cases.
In fact, while at the call center, a call related to one popular kind of GLP-1 appeared on the call sheet. And Lopez doesn't expect the surge to stop anytime soon.
Look, this stuff has shown to cause significant weight loss, and I think it's only going to get worse before it gets better.
Liza Lucas, 11 Alive News investigates.
We reached out tonight to Missouri Poison Control. They report a big jump in cases over the last 4 years. In 2022, there were 58 cases reported. That number nearly tripled in 2023 with 166. And last year, there were 196 cases. So far in 2025, there have already been 188. So how can you stay safe? Well, first, check your prescription and dose before leaving the pharmacy and before you inject the medication. Use reminders to avoid doubling up on doses. You should also only get GLP-1 drugs from licensed pharmacies, never from unregulated online sellers. If you've experienced problems with the dosage of your weight loss drug, we want to hear from you. Send us an email to newstips@ksdk.com. We have a consumer alert tonight for Costco shoppers. The Wholesale Club is warning customers about unopened bottles of wine that could shatter without warning. The bottles of Kirkland Signature Prosecco were sold between the end of April and the end of August. They have the item number 1879870. If you have any of the bottles do not open, you're asked to wrap them in paper towels, put in a plastic bag, and throw them away. Costco is offering full refunds. A jubilant jazz parade tonight celebrating 30 years of Jazz St. Louis. The parade and community party kicked off the 30th anniversary season of the venue. 3 St. Louis brass bands came together to perform. The season begins with the Herlin Riley Quartet starting tomorrow. Perfect weather to be able to do that.
Going. We should keep that music going while I do that. That'd be nice, right?
Yes, I think that would be nice.
That's
Add
right.
to the doom and gloom of this heat that we have had.
That's no doubt. We're going to stay warm here for the next few days as well. This is the overall setup, and this is the current radar temperature satellite composite. Dry across our area, low pressure to the northwest. That means rain there. Low pressure well off to the southeast, not even on this map, but they've had flooding rains just north of Wilmington, North Carolina. So high pressure for us means that we're just dry looking westbound at those storms over there. A lot of lightning with those storms too. Roy, one of our weather watchers, actually snapped this picture here. This was actually taken in Franklin County from a storm that likely happened over a month ago. Well, closer to a month ago. It looks more fresh than that, doesn't it? He sent this picture in today, and it shows lightning that hit the tree. And what happened is it's the sap inside the trees is very conductive to electricity, so it vaporizes like that, and then the bark blows off of the sides of the trees there. So that's why we ask people not to be around trees during lightning storms. It probably makes sense, right? It shows that the power from that picture right there as well. Thanks to Roy for sending that picture in. Mid-70s right now. Dew points are in the 50s. That's where our lows will be overnight tonight, in the lower 60s. Probably not getting down in the 50s for most locations. Again, I mentioned that overall setup for us here. By Thursday, the low pressure is inching eastbound, getting closer to us. It's an upper level low, and the saying is upper level low, weatherman's woe. They're very difficult to predict. They're big bowling balls out there, but you never know exactly where they're going to go. To a high degree of certainty. They don't move very fast often too, but what we can tell from this is the high pressure's down to the south, and so it does mean better rain chances as that low moves in. So it won't be as hot as we have seen, and then those better rain chances. We can all be thankful for the fact that rain is back into the forecast. In fact, looking at the rain chances, again, that high pressure pushes out of here. That upper level low slowly inches eastward. This is now by Thursday. We expect Thursday to be dry for 80% of our region. Only about a 20% chance of rain for any one given location. But once we hit into Friday, it should send enough energy our way to where we should get some more scattered showers and storms. Still only a 40% chance of rain. But you know what? 40% is better than 0%, which is what we've had over the past month or so. Your 7-day forecast here showing temperatures staying in the low to mid 90s for us the next 48 hours or so. And then as we move in through the rest of the week, we'll be closer to average. Average high this time of year is 81 degrees. We'll be in the 80s. But the good news there again, rain. We need it.
We desperately need it.
Yes. So I'm happy to see it back in the forecast. Hopefully we can increase those rain chances too.
All right. Thanks, Lance. All right. Frank's here with sports.
Kelly, the Cardinals got a magnificent pitching performance. The Tigers' magnificent running back got a big-time award. And Kelly Chase was rewarded for his magnificent life of helping others. We'll be right back. Good pitching is like a really wonderful suit. You can have some deficiencies in your sportscast or your baseball team, but if you have the great suit or some great pitching, you can camouflage a lot of your problems. The Cardinals got great pitching tonight against the Reds. It always helps when you pitch with the lead. In the third, Thomas Saggese, who has been on fire, delivers with a 2-run shot, 3-0 Cardinals. He started wearing a batting glove and it worked. This Italian can hit the baseball. And this Irishman can pitch. Michael McGreevy was out of sight. 7 scoreless innings, 6 strikeouts, just 3 hits allowed. This 25-year-old moved to 7-3 on the season. Then the bullpen took over. Joe Romero in the 8th. And Riley O'Brien got a nice scoop from Nolan Arenado to finish things off. Cardinals win 3-0.
Obviously, I wish I was here the entire year, but having 2 months worth, it's like I'm playing with house money. It's just not a full season, but I'm using this time to learn. Obviously, I want to go out there and compete, but you're trying to use these 2 months that see what works, what doesn't work, so you can come in the next year ready to go.
The Mizzou Tigers should be ready to go Saturday versus South Carolina. Today it was announced that Ahmad Hardy was named the National Running Back of the Week, the Doak Walker Award. Easy choice, 250 yards, 3 scores. His quarterback kind of likes him.
He brings a lot of energy to the offense too, not just his explosive runs. All the guys feed off of that. When you can hand the ball off or check a ball down and, a guy can make a play and you really just make guys miss and yards after contact, I think it's huge for the offense.
Cool high school story on the Illinois side. The Metro East Lutheran Knights are off to their first 3-0 start in program history, and they are the only school in the area to field an 8-man football team. There are only 16 8-man football teams in all of Illinois, and Lutheran has to travel a long way to find an opponent. But this team knows 2025 could be special.
Our closest game, I believe, is in Pawnee. It's right south of Springfield, but we have had some long hikes. I mean, most of us have been here since freshman year, and it was really ugly back then. So we've been through some very low, and now we're gonna get through some ups together. It's really nice.
Can you be the best football team that we've ever produced? Could you be the best team that the high school has ever produced too? So I think, those are some lofty goals that they all want to have.
So last Friday, I got a call to go to Belle Reve Country Club because the Blues were doing something really special for Kelly Chase, their former enforcer, broadcaster, and now ambassador. If Kelly was on the docket, I was in. It's a Lamborghini like you've never seen before.
I bought the car and got it wrapped, and we're donating it to Siteman's. That might be Twister, Big Walt, Shanny, Cam, Osh.
This car will raise about $400,000 for the hospital that will end up saving Kelly Chase's life in his fight with leukemia.
A battle going on right now with the fluid on my brain. They found some leukemia in it, so I'll doing radiation right now, and I'll do some chemo again.
About an hour after Kelly showed us the car, the fundraiser had begun, with everybody from Colton Parayko to Bernie Federko to Layla on hand. Kelly was summoned to the stage. Shortly after that, Donald Ringling, who played for the Gateway Locomotives, a special needs hockey team that Kelly helped to coach, brought a big trophy on stage. It's called the Kelly Chase Community Cup, which now goes to the winner each year of the Blues Charity Golf Tournament. Fitting for a man who's given so much to charity in his life in St. Louis.
It's quite an honor, but it's also very humbling because I believe there's so many people that do so much. I'm honored. I don't even know what the hell else to say.
You know, nobody else in the hockey community has done more than Kelly Chase has for so many causes. That's why everybody is just pulling for him. We know he's going to win.
As you said, such an ambassador.
Yes.
Oh my
he's the
goodness,
best.
we are all pulling for him.
Yeah.
Well, pumpkin picking season is almost here when you can grab your gourd at a popular local farm. The countdown begins. We are now 100 days away until Christmas, and the Yuletide Blitz is already underway. Retailers are putting holiday decor on display. Some are even promising flash sales this month in September. Amazon also announced today the return of its deal days on October 7th and 8th. Today, Eckert's announced the return of its pick-your-own pumpkin season. The farms in Belleville, Grafton, and Millstadt will open their pumpkin patches on Friday. The gourds cost 79 cents per pound, plus the cost of a field access pass. Each farm will have different fun fall activities through October. Quick little final weather.
Yeah, it's going to be hot the next couple of days. Low 90s, low to mid 90s tomorrow, and then Thursday, and then we return to the mid 80s to follow the weekend.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us. We're always streaming on 5+. Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis. That starts at 5 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.